Hey, guess what, everybody? It is Steeler Friday. We are just a little over a day away from our Pittsburgh Steelers getting back
Ooh.
at it for the in the playoffs in the wild card round at Baltimore. We got a lot to go over today. Get ready for this game. I do want to say to everybody, welcome to the show. This is episode 672 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Welcome back. How you guys
Whew.
doing today, Finch, Michael?
I'm doing great, man. I am hyped up. I am ready to go.
I
Fin-
am
you feeling
recovering
better,
from a
Finch?
sickness. Yeah, I'm getting a lot better. My throat is still pretty wrecked. It hurts, but I can now project my voice, which is nice. And then, as I was explaining to Mike, I just not 5 minutes ago had a brand new mattress delivered to my house, and I
Nice.
am really looking forward to going to sleep tonight. So it's going to be
Hey,
a good
I'm
Friday in the
always
Finch
looking
house.
forward to going to sleep. That is
I
awesome,
know.
man. Good for you. I
Yes.
tell you what, we all seem to get the same thing. It was this throat thing. It started in the throat. You couldn't talk.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe we got to just cut down on the Saturday kissing sessions or something. I don't know what happened, but we all got it at the same time. And the fact of the matter is, none of us see one another. We do this remote, so it's we maybe it was the kissing sessions that we have to cut down on,
I, I
guys.
I'm blaming Mike Tomlin for this one.
Hey, you know
You
what?
know
Me
what? When
too.
all else fails, baby,
Blame Mike
well,
Tomlin.
blame
That's
blame
right.
the head coach,
Right.
Mike Tomlin, Mike Sullivan, whoever the Pirates manager
Yeah,
at
it's
the
somebody
moment is. It's
different
all their
every
fault.
year.
All
Yeah.
three of them fault. Their
We
fault.
got a couple things I want to go over before we do get started, guys. A couple big stories. Of course, last night was the big college football game between Penn State and Notre Dame, which was an excellent game. I got to be honest with you.
Hell of a
Good
game.
morning, good morning, Jen, on the board. It was a hell of a game. It was unfortunate that it didn't fall Penn State's way. It certainly could have. Some things played out through the course of the game though, where that didn't happen. Notre Dame wins 27-24. They go on to play the winner of the game that's played tonight between the Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes. I wish Derpy could have been here for a little shit talk, which you would have thought he would have been, being that
Yeah.
Mike's team lost. However, he is not here. So, Mike, you kind of escape one there because I'm only going to be limited on giving you the shit, and Finch as well. I think Derpy would obviously be the big one here to worry about. So you kind of lucked out today, man.
I did luck out. I have been seeing some Pitt fans talking smack. I wonder how their team fared in the playoff. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Ryan,
Hey,
it's not directed at you, Ryan. It's not directed
hey,
at you.
it's another year that neither Pitt or Penn State is the
Yeah,
national
I know, right?
champion. And
You know,
also,
and the
guys,
thing,
yeah, go ahead.
I would say the thing that sucks, all three teams that are left, I hate every single team.
I don't hate Texas. I just
I
don't.
hate Texas because
I
when
hate
teams
this
go like
stupid thing.
I love when
This,
teams go
yeah.
like this to them, the horns down, they cry, they ask for penalties, they ask for fines against the team. Texas is soft. Notre Dame is pretentious. Ohio State
Well,
is
Notre Dame is
pretentious.
soft, Mike. Listen, you were up 10-0 when
I
you
don't
left
want
the
to.
studio.
Oh,
Mike was up 10-0 when we left the studio, and I thought, okay, Penn State's in good shape, and and then when he left, more happened. It started unfolding, and Notre Dame was scoring, and Penn State was scoring, and a lot was going on. Don't get me wrong; neither team was out of this till the very end of the game,
no.
and it just happened to. I mean, Drew Aller threw a bad pass at the end, and kind of.
Shocker.
Yeah, I mean that was what I was expecting. And one thing that kind of shocked me about this Notre Dame team, they didn't pass. I don't know what the final numbers were, but at one point in the fourth quarter, they said that the Penn State quarterback never even threw to a receiver yet. So
Yeah.
they kind of have an odd thing going on. It isn't like they're
Our
this really good
no,
team. They're odd.
no, like our bread and butter is Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, and Tyler Warren. Those three, Drew Aller, those four run that offense. The receivers, they have talent, but for some reason, but one of their talents that they don't have is getting open, getting separation, and that's been a thing that like we talked about that with Derek Moy the past 4 years. If it feels like they have trouble getting receivers, they have one coming in from the portal who's highly rated. I think we have a commit coming in that's highly rated. So if we can get some receivers next year, we might be good, but we're losing a lot of key players on defense. Abdul Carter's going, in the top 10 in the draft, so we're screwed there. Our strong safety's going in the first round. Our free safety might be going in the third round. So this was the year, boys. But you know what? It was a great season. You know what? They played a whole hell of a lot better than I thought they would. So I have no complaints, man. Damn good season.
What I like about this playoff setup is this. they used to tell you who the two best teams were, and then they would tell you when that game was, and those two teams would play, and then you'd have a champion. This proves who the best teams are. You go through a gauntlet. You play 3 games before you even get to the championship. I like this. This proves a champion, in my opinion. It isn't somebody saying, oh, because here's the thing. Somebody would have probably picked Georgia or somebody who, one of these teams that lost to be in the national title. And look how this plays out when you have to play more than one game. It doesn't go in that one team's favor. Also, another thing that I like is this. Nobody is really standing out to me. When you think of a great college football team, you think of somebody that gets out there and they're just better than everybody. Nobody on these 4 teams really stood out above everybody. There were 4 solid football teams. And, before yesterday, I really thought that either any of these 4 teams could have went on to win a national title. I love this format. I love the opportunities that the teams that normally wouldn't have gotten the chances to play in the playoffs or for a major bowl game, they get that opportunity. I think this helps college out tremendously. But so the game tonight, guys, will decide who the national championship will be between next Monday, the 20th, against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Texas Longhorns, Ohio State Buckeyes. Tonight, 7:30. The Jeffrey Epstein Olympic Bowl game is over between Penn State and the Catholic priests of Notre Dame.
Oh, Jesus!
I would have hated to have been a kid under 10 years old at that game running around that stadium last night with all the.
If the allegations are true,
yeah,
they both have a dark history.
They both have a dark history. One has, the big scandal, and the other one has Catholic priests. You know how that goes. But let's move on, guys. That is our college football coverage for the day.
Hey, one thing I want to say about the game.
Yeah,
I got to give you have to give mad respect to the kicker for Notre Dame. All they talked about last night during the game. Their kicking game is the worst in college football. They've missed so many field goals. And then the guy goes out there and bangs out, what was it, like a 47-yarder or something 41 yard? Like he goes and bangs it out, hits a great kick to win the game. And I'm not a Notre Dame fan at all. I hate those guys. But you know what? I got to give respect to that kid for going out there and punching it through, because literally everybody was against him in that moment. Except for anybody who was, obviously rooting for Notre Dame. So, you know what? Good for him. Give him credit where it's due. And it was a very entertaining football game. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not going to take anything away from any of these teams. They all got to where they are by winning multiple games in the playoffs. You got to give them all the credit in the world. Unfortunate for Penn State. Respect. You know what, Notre Dame, I don't think they're quite as good as I thought they were initially. I think that this team probably goes on to lose because they're very limited. Again, they don't throw. This quarterback, they went on and on and on about, he literally runs all the time. He doesn't throw. And again, in the fourth quarter, he hasn't thrown to a wide receiver. So again, whoever comes on from the other side, I give the advantage to, just because this team can't throw. They're good. They're there. But again, that's certainly a setback. Guys, let's touch on the board here, and then we'll get started. Let's go all the way back down here. John, good morning, John. John says, what is the over-under on peaches? Show size starting at 7. Also, Feel the Steel. What's up, brother? He says, cheers to Dum Yinzers. Boom. Boom. Morton, what's up, my man? He says, hopefully Derpy is buying some batteries and a step ladder. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Good morning to also Jen as well again. Mr. Cherry Coke, Pittsburgh backwards is spelled Pittsburgh backwards. He goes running underground behind stands, taking in place.
Cryptic. Very cryptic.
Very cryptic.
I like it.
Let's see. John also says the Steelers can draft wide receivers. They can't get stud free agent wide receivers. No one wants to come with the current quarterback situation. Folks blame Kahn for no number 2, but it isn't on him. GPX out for a reason. Let's see what else. And John says my dogs bother my typing as usual. Good morning, guys. I have a big announcement today to make, though, as well. A couple of things. I do want to say thank you, a big special thank you to Corey Ivy for coming on yesterday, and all the former Pittsburgh Steelers we've had come on over the past week and a half.
Great show yesterday, guys. Great show. Sorry I missed it.
Thank you.
No, you're all right, man. You're busy. But I do want to say a special thank you to all them guys. Every single one of them. I was trying to sit back and think who was the best interview. They were very great, very insightful.
Yes.
I learned something from every one of them, and I do want to say thank you to them guys. Big thank you. Getting ready to go into the Steeler weekend. Maybe that'll give us a little luck. The other big announcement I do want to make tonight, Okay, I see. Sorry. The over-under on Peach's shoe size. That's what that was all about. I heard she got some boats, man. But big announcement tonight, guys. Check out at 9:30 tonight. There is a new show right here on our channel, right on the Dum Yinzers YouTube channel. This show that's starting tonight at 9:30 is called The Two Cranky Jags, and it is hosted by the guy right beneath me. You see on your screen in front of you, Finch, and his sidekick Tim will be kicking off a new show right here on our channel on YouTube. Check it out tonight, 9:30. Two Cranky Jags. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what these guys are up to. Very excited. I'm very excited, and I wish them all the luck. And get out there and kick some ass tonight, guys. Finch,
we are going to have a good time.
Give us a little bit for the people viewing and listening. What's this going to be about?
So Tim and I are a couple of cranky jag-offs, kind of like you guys, but better looking. Shots fired. Boom. Tim and I have been friends for a long time, and we like to talk a lot of crap on everything and everybody in the least or most respectful way possible. So we're big fans of sports. We're fans of music and movies. We're fans of the news. So we decided we're going to put a show together where we take some of the stories of the week, or stories of the season in the case of something like a football season or whatever. And we're just going to put our spin onto it. It's not too much different than what we're doing here on Dum Yinzers. However, we're broadening the scope, taking it away from just Steeler talk, although the Steelers, I'm sure, will come up. So, for instance, one of the topics we'll discuss tonight is Caleb Williams, a very fascinating case. That guy for the Bears had an statistically pretty solid season compared to some of the other rookies in the NFL, but somehow gets labeled as a bust. And you know what? I want to talk about that. And then some other things as well. We definitely will be avoiding topics like politics, although we enjoy discussing those things. We don't want to alienate our fans. And talking politics just makes us angry. So that's one thing we will avoid, but we will talk about current events and stories that we found on the internet throughout the week. It'll be like a wacky news discussion show with a couple of cranky old codgers. So look for that. The goal is to have a show every other week on Friday night around 9:30 10 o'clock live. And then, of course, you'll be able to see that right here on the Dum Yinzers audio network.
I got to tell you, I can't wait. I'll be tuning in at 9:30. Go over and support the guys tonight, everybody. 9:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight. Go over, check them out. If you like what you see, give them a like. Comment on the board, help the guys out. It is day one for those guys. So good luck tonight, Finch. I know you guys will come up with some awesome stuff. I cannot wait to check it out.
We are pumped up. We're ready.
Good.
We're ready to have some fun.
Good. I'm glad to hear. We're 100% behind you, my friend. Go make it great. As Phil the Steel says at 11:29 and 58 seconds, he says, let's talk some Steeler football. Guys, I can't agree more. Let's get into it. Phil the Steel says, game one versus the Ratbirds. Steelers defense won it with turnovers, 22 in check, keeping it close. Game two versus the Ratbirds, the offense lost the game, pick six and a fumble, and 2 turnovers bounced the Ratbirds' way. What's up, my man, Yinzer Joe? You know what, Phil? You're right. What's going to be the story? What's going to be the story in round 3, game 3 of this series this year between the Steelers and the Ravens? This, guys, is the 6th. Let me see. I had it somewhere here. You know what? I'll find it as we go. I can't find it at the moment, but this is I believe I'll find it. I don't want to tell you something wrong.
I think you're right. You were going to say the 6th time we've played each other in the playoffs. Is that what you were going to say?
No, it was kind of, but a little bit more wide than that. It was just it had to do with all the teams in our division. But we only lost 2 games ever. 2 teams in our division. One obviously being the Browns a couple years ago, and the other one being a Ravens game that I went to. Just so happens to be about 10 years ago. But those are the only 2 games that we lost.
That was the year they won the Super Bowl, was it not?
It might have been.
I think it was 2012, yeah.
If that was the year. The Steelers, guys, they're 9.5 point dogs in this game. Not a lot of people giving the Steelers much chance to win. I think we win this game. But you know what? The one thing that I keep seeing over and over by the Steeler fans has been this. Zay Flowers will be out for the game. I don't think Zay Flowers I mean, yes, he's a big part, but he's a part of the bigger picture, in my opinion, when you're playing the Ravens. I don't necessarily fear Zay Flowers. He hasn't exactly killed us. And you know what? He's a midget. This guy, I'm not afraid of Zay Flowers. It's obviously what Lamar Jackson and what Derrick Henry could do out of the backfield, what they can make happen, and you have to adjust and try to figure out who's going where, who has the ball, what's going down. So I think that we still face the bulk of their strength. I think Zay Flowers is a part of what they do, but I don't think it's going to make that huge of a difference, especially when you have a couple tight ends like Mark Andrews and Likely. So they still have a lot of weapons out there, guys, to catch the ball. But everybody keeps saying Zay Flowers is out, so we'll take it, guys. Mike, you have anything on the injury report as of right now? Can you pull that?
Last I saw, it was still the same, but I can pull that up real quick here. I still haven't seen anything about Isaiah Likely. I was searching for that earlier, so I'm assuming he is going to be in.
It's likely he'll be in.
Yeah, he's not showing up on the injury report.
Very bloody likely.
Yeah, it's McCormick is questionable.
They got
Anderson.
Spencer Anderson working out getting reps this week.
Yeah, I think McCormick plays. They called up Calvin Anderson from off injury reserve to be that offensive lineman if McCormick cannot.
Isn't he hurt too?
He was reactivated. So he was hurt for a while, then he was reactivated. So he's actually questionable, but that's just coming off the list. Though he's the only other offensive lineman we have that would be ready to go if McCormick can't go. That's why Scotty Miller was released off the 53-man roster. I think that's going to be the corresponding move to see what's going to happen there. But yeah,
soon though, right? I mean, we play in a day here.
Yeah, we play in a day, but yeah, they can always sign him back on. They got to figure stuff out. But what it's looking like is that's what it's looking like. Zay Flowers is the only one that is out. They have Deontay Hardy, one of their other wide receivers that's questionable, but he's not a major factor. But yeah, they're looking full. Steelers are looking good too, outside of Mason McCormick.
You know what, Andrew Joe, you're 100% right. Zay did make the Pro Bowl, but again, he's not a guy that I'm afraid. They have about 6 or 7 guys that made the Pro Bowl, and again, it's all part of the whole. I think if you put, Zay he come out of Boston College, but still he's a midget. I'm not really sold by this guy. I never seen Zay Flowers kill anybody, but again, we don't have to face him. That's not going to be an issue. Let's get caught up on a couple of these other messages here real quick, fellas. Ginger Joe said Steelers didn't have Pickens, Jackson, or Elliott the second time as well. That's right. We were without a lot. We went without a lot. That was a tough game for us.
Yeah,
we did go in with a lot missing. Also, Phyllis still says game 3, Arthur Smith shows some balls and come out slinging, and Steelers defense have fun and just blast. Number 8 will F up. We got to do something. We can't come out flat like we did for the last month. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It just isn't going to work. Jen says she likes being the underdogs. We fight harder. Also, P says, didn't know Ryan Clark's son plays for Notre Dame. There's a handful of guys. Jerome Bettis. I think Ike Taylor. There's about
Plexus
4 or 5
kid,
guys.
I think Plexico's kid plays up there as well.
There's about 4 or 5 former Steelers that their kids do play for Notre Dame. Corey, what's up, my man? Good morning to you, sir. He says, I'm trying hard not to get excited. They made me look stupid 4 weeks in a row. It sucks when you dread watching a football game as a loyal fan, shaking my head. It sure does, especially when it's the playoffs. You should be able to get excited, and it's really hard. It's really hard to get excited right now. So let's hope the Steelers turn this around and give us a reason to get excited moving forward. Let's see. There's Johnny
I almost want to play Renegade on air right now just to get us pumped up. But I also don't want the YouTube algorithm copyright laws coming after us. But
I know, right?
I mean, it's like we need whatever we can take to get pumped up right now. Because the way things have been the last few weeks with the Steelers, it's looking abysmal. But a win over the Ravens could change everything. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, Steelers.
It would be even if we go and lose the next round, it'd make the
At least
season,
we beat the Ravens.
We knocked the Ravens out of Super
It'll
Bowl
be
contention.
how the Browns felt last time. When the Browns beat us and then they went on and got smoked the next round.
Right.
It'll be our Super Bowl this year. I don't think most Steeler fans will see it that way, but I see it that way. So,
Phil also said playoff choker waxing. Jackson fails again this Saturday. Bank it.
I hope so. I hope this isn't the one, because he always has one good playoff game and then chokes in the other one. Hopefully this is the one where he chokes.
This is going to be a big one, guys. BSHAFE087 says offensive line needs to step up for this one. They need to utilize the middle of the field more as well.
That's
The offensive
spot
line has to
on.
have a huge game.
Ooh,
They have to have a
they need
huge
to-
game.
Yeah,
That's Braden that made that comment, my friend Braden. And yeah, he's 100% right. The O-line needs to step it up. We need to keep
Yes.
our running backs on their feet. We need to keep Russell's shoulders clean. And we just need to give him time. Give our guy time to throw the ball down the field.
And
Like-
good morning to Braden.
Good morning, Braden. And real quick, like I was looking at the advanced stats going into this game. Dan Moore has given up 16 and a half sacks. And I swear all of them have come in the past 6 weeks. Like, it's just
That's
on that side. Like I would say
When it
since the
rains, it
Browns,
pours, buddy.
I would say since that Browns game, he has lost total confidence, and it's just been, lost. Well, he did handle Hendrickson in that Cincy game, but since that Cincy game, that first Cincy game, he has not been the same since those 2 games. He needs to step it up. Sam Allen needs to step it up.
As Mike mentioned, Scotty Miller was released from the active roster yesterday. Spencer Anderson is preparing in case Mason McCormick can't play. Do you guys want a McCormick with a broken hand or a healthy Spencer Anderson?
I want a Mason McCormick with a broken hand. He's been in there game in, game out all season long, just about all season long. Keep the continuity together. I think a few weeks ago, this line was like the ninth most consistent line for the amount of snaps played together. It's probably gone up since guys sat out throughout the league. Keep that continuity going. Keep that consistency going. As long as he has a brace on there, he's able to use that grip where that grip is allowed. I play him over Spencer Anderson.
Just think, guys, in 05, we had the worst offensive line in the league. 05, we had the number 6 seed. In 05, we did have a future Hall of Famer under center. So we have some pieces in the puzzle that we had during that Super Bowl 40 run. However, it's a different feel this year, but we do have to play the games to find out.
Yep.
Guys, so there you go. We have, the injuries are in a minimum. That's good. As you were saying on the board earlier, it's a huge plus not having all those guys out that we had out the last time we played them. It could have, as Jen mentioned, it would be nice to have, some of these other guys, all hands on deck situation with Roman Wilson and Cole Holcomb and these other guys, but they're rolled out. We're not going to see them this season. It doesn't look like. But Yinzer Joe, I mean, Finch, let me ask you this. You're a smart guy. How do you push and pull? I mean, these are big, huge, strong, massive, fast men on the other side of you. Giving you their 100%. How do you get into pushing and pulling and blocking with a broken hand? It's got to be tough, right, Finch?
I would imagine so. I broke my arm when I was a kid, and it was completely useless for a long time. But I'm also not a professional athlete. I don't have access to training and physical therapy that these guys have. You just have to, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I can't tell you. I guess he would just have to make sure that obviously it's braced up properly and maybe adjust his technique a little bit to make sure that he can do those things. But it's definitely going to be a disadvantage for him. There's no doubt about it. And whoever lines up against him is going to take advantage of that. They're going to move to that side, the side with the hurt hand.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be slapping the hand all game. You're going to be
smacking the crap out of it. A lot of this
Absolutely.
going on. He's got to prepare for that. He's got to figure out his own way to play the game. And I feel like he's a great athlete. There's a good chance that he could figure it out. And, good luck to him. I hope he does.
And you know what? If he does, and he, just in his career, he's a rookie. He got thrown into the Wolves early. He started all season. He broke his hand. He continued to play in the playoffs. Those are signs of a guy that has heart and likes to play.
Big heart.
And you might want to keep around on your team for some time. So maybe we just might have hit the jackpot this year on the first in our, drafting offensive lineman. If we could get Broderick Jones maybe up to speed one of these years, get Fatanu back, we might be in okay shape. So maybe we learn a little bit this year and just improve. And that's
what John says there. The needle will help with the pain. You're 100% right. I that thought crossed my mind as well. Miracle wonder drugs. It'll help if he can numb it up and keep it well braced so he doesn't further aggravate the injury. That's the most we can ask for.
Corey says Roman Wilson would have been the perfect wild card player for this game if he played. No tape on him, so they don't know how to defend him. Shame he's not playing. I definitely would have loved to see a little bit of Roman Wilson at some point this year. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. John also says on the board, the Steelers have a 1.1% chance to win the Super Bowl. In the words of, who was it, Finch, on Dumb and Dumber? So you're saying there's a chance? Is that what
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There it is.
My man had it ready to go.
So
I've been waiting weeks to play that.
I know you have.
I do like what Corey says. Like what I'm hearing, you're saying that his chance of holding calls dropped to 50%. I like, yeah. You know, if he gets called for a hold, that's when I will say the NFL is 100% rigged. My guy has the grip strength of,
A toddler.
I was going to say a toddler, but man, the kid's got a grip, man. But yeah, there should be 0 holding calls on McCormick.
Doing a lot of this.
Yeah, right. So that's that, guys. We're dealing with a minimal injuries. They have minimal injuries. It's going to be a Steeler-Raven game. Again, getting the guys back that we didn't have last time, I think, is big, considering that we went into the game with basically no receivers. I mean, that's, a couple of things about George Pickens we'll get more into once we get into the overs and unders. I think that's going to be fun today. Also, let's see what else we got, guys. Just one. Okay, here's a little bit to take the wind out of our sails this morning. Since the Steelers when they went to the Super Bowl and played the Packers, okay, since the Packers Super Bowl, last time we were there, the Steelers and the Pirates both have the same amount of playoff wins. The Steelers and the Pirates have the same amount of wins in the postseason as each other since the last time the Steelers were in the playoffs. The Steelers are due. They have to win this, guys. We can't be playing games with the Pirates. We just can't. But that was just something I saw. I thought, oh, yay, we got to win. We got to win. We got to win.
And like I said yesterday with when we were talking with Corey Ivy, it was like, excuse me, both head coaches are, 3-6 since their Super Bowl appearances. Like both head coaches and, both quarterbacks are looking for current recent playoff success. So like someone's got to, something has to give here. Someone's just got to play. Hopefully the Steelers just play fast and loose in this, like Arthur Smith said, we're burning every boat we have. We're using every asset available to us. Everything's now on the table for us.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it 4 weeks ago there when you were calling your offense? It's another thing. But and video coming out of Steeler practice of these guys getting hyped up before every practice starts, as long as they carry that same energy onto the game, they might have a decent chance of playing. I want to see them carry that over from practice. You're seeing these guys hyped up, ready to go.
I mean, I'm hyped up. It doesn't mean I'm going to go play.
But are they going to be hyped up come time for, game day when it's actually time to punch the clock and go work?
Here's what I was looking for earlier, guys. It was eluding me. The Steelers have played a divisional opponent in the playoffs 12 times in their history. We've played a divisional opponent 12 times in our history. The Steelers guys are 10-2. 10-2 against divisional playoffs. And again, the only 2 losses were against Baltimore at home and Cleveland. Was that game? That was up in Cleveland, wasn't it?
No,
that was here. Home. So both games that we lost in the division against division teams were both home games. So now we're expanding. We're going on the road for the first time ever to play Baltimore in the postseason. They have different ideas. They're going to be which is one of the dumbest songs ever, in my opinion. We've had our debates on this show about Renegade, but they basically took the 7 Nation Army that came out about 10 years ago and they just make that stupid
literally the most popular stadium song in the entire world. You watch soccer matches. I was watching the Olympics and they were playing that song. And I have no hate for the White Stripes. I like the song. I love the band. It's nothing against the song itself. But come on, guys. Nobody plays Renegade except for the Steelers.
Right.
There's so many songs to choose from. They couldn't found one that was a little bit better, something a little more maybe tough. You know what I mean? Something that rocks a little harder. Right. Come on, Ravens.
Yeah, I think Mike made that argument before as well. These teams, they don't really definitely come up with songs that rock. I mean, with Denver with their Mountain Mama John Denver song.
Yep.
I mean,
that's about West Virginia, by the way.
Exactly. Let's go. We are all free. Broken arm. I work 2 jobs. Man up. He makes millions, but yes, he will struggle. John,
we all free. I've seen you work with 2 good arms, and it's a struggle. I hate to see you work with 1 good arm.
All right. John says playoff Tomlin versus playoff Jackson. Boy, that's a combination, guys. Which one of those 2 will not choke this weekend is the big question. Jen says, I want to see Lamar in the ground. In the ground, Jen. Come on. She don't want to see him on the ground. She wants to see him in the ground.
In the ground. She's like 6 feet.
Let's see. Phil says, that's the battle to me. Steelers coaches versus Ratbirds coaches. Which coach is going to F up? Tomlin has F'd up as well as Harbaugh on stupid calls. Which coach is going to F it up on a call? And Corey says also Lamar is 2-4 in the postseason. We're 0-6 since 2016, but the Ravens are 1-3 against us in postseason. We own them at their house. We've only lost 2 games at their house in the last 10.
Yeah.
Guys,
It's
we can
like
win.
everything's pointing to our like the stats are lining up in the Steelers' favor. And this year, man, like the second half when the stats would line up on our favor, it's not gone our way. Like, after a 10-day break, Tomlin's like, 19-2, we lose. Whereas early in the year, after a bye, Tomlin's 24 and whatever, and we go out and we, cakewalk the Commander. So the flip, the script has flipped on the Steelers with these historical trends. Hopefully we can flip it back in our favor.
I mean, there's so much to say about this game because you remember the first time we played, it was 18-16. Tucker missed how many? What did he miss? 2 field goals and an extra
two
point.
or 3, yeah.
I mean, that's not going to happen again. But in the second time around, we lose 34-17. We're missing half our team. We literally have we don't have a 1 or a 2 receiver going into this game.
Yeah.
So I mean, this game, it has potential, but there's things that has to happen. It has to be hard. It has to be hard-nosed football. It has to be AFC North. It has to be low scoring. It has to be close. It has to be ugly. Those are the ways that the Pittsburgh Steelers win this game. It has to come down to the fourth quarter. If you let that team impose their will against us, the way that they moved the ball methodically against us last time, we're not going to win that football game. So we have the advantages of having the guys back that we didn't have. But on the other hand, it's still a really good football team that we needed our field goal kicker to miss 3 field goals basically in the first time to beat it. Keep it ugly, keep it close. That's what our best chances of winning this football game are. Fourth quarter, maybe get some crazy people are saying, well, why are you saying this? No, because it's been a 1-score game for 30 years until last week, So that's what you have to do to beat this team. I don't think you should change that recipe at all. I don't think we're equipped to change that recipe at all. I think that is what you have to do in this game. Go out and give it your all. And at the end of the day, we did beat them 8 of the last 10 times. Keep that in mind. These guys aren't invincible. They're not, you could beat this Baltimore Ravens team, but things have to happen. And it's just going to come down to the mindset. If they come out with that mindset that they came against Cincinnati last week, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long off season. They have to advance and play like the way that Mike is talking about how they're reacting and getting ready for practice. And if they come out with the right mindset, I believe we do have a game. I do believe we can win the football game. So, guys, it's hopefully a good one tomorrow, 8:00. That's the second game of the day. A lot of football going on this weekend in the NFL. Starts tomorrow at 4:30 when the Chargers travel to Houston. We travel to Baltimore for the 8:00 game. Sunday, there's 3 games. And then Monday, that game, Minnesota at the Rams, got moved to Arizona, obviously because of the fires in Los Angeles. So that 8:00 game on Monday will be in Arizona between Minnesota and the Rams. But let's get back to this Steeler team, guys. George Pickens declined to speak with the media all week. George Pickens, is he going to be a problem tomorrow, guys? Or is this, for one, it comes down to the coaching and it comes down to George. Is, the people in charge going to get on him? And is George going to listen? With that being said, does George Pickens become a problem, or is he an asset or a liability tomorrow, guys?
Oh,
He's going to be a problem for someone. The real question is he going to be a problem for the Ravens defense, or is he going to be a problem for Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
If Mike and I've been arguing this in our our private chat for the last few days now. I've always been a fan of Tomlin, and I know that the crowd, the Pittsburgh crowd, has been getting on him for years. And this week finally turned me into a Tomlin disliker, not quite a hater. But he has a chance to prove me wrong. And one of the things that I've been arguing all week, and Mike has been kind of slapping me back with, is the George Pickens situation. We've seen this happen multiple times over the years. Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and now George Pickens, amongst some other guys. The coach just needs to sit him down and be like, listen here, MFer, this is the real deal. And this BS, trying to fight fans, social media posts and all that bull crap, the coach needs to step up and put a foot in the butt of George Pickens. And I'd like to think that the Mike Tomlin that we've been seeing on TV recently with the Hard Knocks, I need that guy to show up. And he needs to stomp a boot in everybody's ass. And he needs to tell him, yo, listen, you guys want to make money? You want to sign a big contract? You need to prove yourself, and there is no bigger stage to prove yourself than the NFL playoffs, and there's no bigger place for a Steeler to prove himself than in Baltimore versus the Ravens. Today's the day, or I should say tomorrow's the day, but this is
Yeah.
the time. And let's hope, let's pray that George Pickens finally just gets it through his thick skull that he needs to just put all the BS behind him and just go out there and catch footballs, run clean routes, play smart, don't take penalties. If he can do that, the Steelers have a great chance to win this game.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
and
see
like-
Finch give the pregame speech to the team. I'm ready to go to the wall.
Right.
Boom.
Like I don't like with George Pickens, like in his attitude, like we've seen, like AB, he had his issues, but he, for the most part in his career in Pittsburgh, kept it together. He kept it locked up. He knew
Yeah,
when
he
it
didn't
was
really
time.
go crazy until he left Pittsburgh.
Until
But even
like
then,
that-
he was
yeah.
still a distraction.
I would
He
say
was
like
still a
his last
distraction.
couple, like his last handful of games here, because like Juju was getting all the attention and praise and love that got to his head, and that affected him the way he started to act. But that was at the very end of his career. The Steelers and Tomlin, they were able to control him for that long, and not being able to control George Pickens. That just shows me that George Pickens is more of a head case than AB. AB knew when it was time to be about business. It was time to be about business. When it was time to go out there and play, I'm going to focus on the game. George lets everything get to him. Every minor little setback.
He
get
needs to
him
grow
and
up.
affect his play.
He needs
Yeah,
to
he
grow
needs to
up.
grow.
He needs to grow up. I
in a
think-
hurry.
I think we've all had that stage in our life where we
Yes.
get easily offended.
Yeah.
It happens to most of us when we're like teenagers or whatever.
Yeah, luckily
Somebody bullies you.
ours isn't. Ours isn't.
Yeah,
to
worth
the
millions of
dismay
dollars.
millions
and-
of fans around the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, it is.
No,
you're
Ours,
right.
our outbursts weren't captured, for everyone to see. On
Right,
camera.
but I'm saying,
Yeah,
we all
no,
go
you're
through
right.
that, and
Yeah.
most of us have somebody who kind of checks our head a little bit, whether it's your dad, putting you in the corner, so to speak, to teach you a lesson, or some kid at school that you've been giving a lot of shit to punches you in the mouth. George Pickens needs that. He needs a
Yeah.
punch in the
Yeah,
mouth.
he does need a punch in the mouth.
Not a physical punch, but a theoretical punch,
Yeah,
a slap in the face, a kick in the balls. He needs something, a foot in the butt.
Yeah.
The dude just needs some motivation. And if money and a Super Bowl ring aren't motivation enough for him to get his head out of his ass, maybe he's not the right fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And maybe he should have went out and worked a crap job somewhere when he was in high school.
Yeah,
Let him just
delivering
show him a little
furniture
bit
or
that,
something.
a
Yeah.
little responsibility, and you can't just go off the deep end every time something doesn't go your way. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Mike,
there-
I'm sorry.
No. Like with George, like people like with his type of temperament and personality, like to get the most effect out of him, you have to thread that needle of being harsh and being not coddling, but kind of like empathetic to what they're going through and what they're feeling. You have to thread that needle, because if you don't, you can lose them. And they were just, tune you out, tune everything out, and go out there and be boo-boo. And next thing you know, you got to bench him, and then he's acting up, causing a circus on the sideline. It's a fine line with people with that type of temperament.
Like I said, it's like a dad talking to his son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to recognize that as the dad, you're always going to be on your son's side, but sometimes you got to play the bad cop.
You got to kick him in the ass.
It's a shame. The only thing that we all have been thinking about as playing, quote, bad cop for Tomlin is to bench George. But in this situation, being the playoffs, we can't do that. That's not an
No, you
option.
can't do
So how does Tomlin get through his thick skull? How does Mike Tomlin make it happen? And that's to be seen. And I think Tomlin is capable of doing it. We need to make sure that George is recepting of it and therefore receiving some balls because of it. So
I was going to say one way to get his head right in the game is early and often feed him the ball.
feed him the ball.
You
Give me the
know,
rock,
put-
coach.
like look, click little hitch there, an out route here and there. Maybe like Phil's saying, go balls all out. That first play, you hit the moon ball in the first play. Go fuck it, go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Get him involved. Like, hey, we're gonna get you involved early and often.
And
And
Russell
then run
Wilson,
the ball on second down, short pass on third down,
Sure.
and punt. We're back on script.
Russell Wilson needs to step up too in that aspect. I can specifically remember there was a time, I want to say like 2018, somewhere around there, where Ben Roethlisberger was really going to bat for AB. AB had one of his moments in a game, and all week, that's all the media talked about, AB. And Ben Roethlisberger on the very first play called a play to AB down the field, and he fucking hit him for a long game. And it just instantly,
They got to take
you
the
knew.
shots early.
You got to take that shot, and you knew
Especially-
that Ben had his guys back, and he proved it. And then it was like it healed the whole thing for the rest of the game.
And especially since we didn't throw a single ball on first down in the whole entire first half last game, they have to go downfield early. They have to put that. They got to get the Baltimore Ravens on their heels. Listen, if you know that we're going to run on first down every play, guess what? We're playing defense for that, and you're not going to get anything. You're
they're
wasting
gonna
your
put 9
first
in the
down.
box.
You have to throw the ball. You have to mix it up. If Arthur Smith can't figure this out, I no wonder the Jets want him, guys. So with that being said, I want to get caught up on a couple of these things. Corey says, do you guys think the betting odds are a trap? -10 though sounds like a Vegas setup for a Ravens disappointment to me.
That has me reaching for my FanDuel app. When I saw that number the other day, I was looking at FanDuel. I was thinking, maybe I could pump a couple bucks in there. That might be a sure bet.
Yeah, right.
And the line just dropped down, at least on FanDuel, dropped back down to or DraftKings, excuse me, back down to 9.5. It was
that's
9
what it's at.
earlier today.
That's where it's been at.
Up to
Yeah.
9.5. Yeah, it's
For anybody who doesn't understand how that works, that means if the Steelers lose the game by less than 9.5 points, so if we lose by 3, the bet still wins.
Yep.
Right.
I know
we
some
won
people
last
don't
week,
quite
19
understand
and a
how that
half
works,
to 19 against the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's true.
Eli Sports Guy, he said last game was the first time the Steelers played Lamar in Baltimore in front of fans. Jen says about George Pickens, hoping he's keeping his nose clean by avoiding the media. Yinzer Joe says, I got to take care of the ball. Russ fumbles on the first in a pick. Listen, here's the thing, too. Yes, let me continue. I'm sorry. I'll catch up with that. But, yeah, that's absolutely right, guys. Where are we at? Feel the Steelers are going to win. We are going to be popping and looking for victory Monday, fellas, because we are from a town with a great football team. We cheer the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like it.
Channel a little derp dog there.
You're in a derp dog. What I was going to say with that, guys, if you do throw down the field early and you get an interception or they intercept you, at least it's early. At least you're opening up the field. At least you're not running the ball on the first down every single play. Let's say that you get the ball first and Russ throws it down and it bounces off of Pickens' hands and lands in one of their defenders. You have the entire rest of the game. Yep. Yes, you don't want to make mistakes. Yes, every mistake is at a premium in this particular series, but you got to take those shots early. You have to. You cannot come out the way you did against the Bengals. You just can't. John says George Pickens could be a problem for several Ravens fans. He is going Hanson brother this Saturday.
Listening to the fucking
I'm trying to hear the fucking song.
Also, John says Finchy is right. Tomlin saying he was unaware of George Pickens arguing with the fans was BS as well. He knew and lied.
Well, someone from the Steelers lying?
Politics there, yeah.
Someone from the Steelers front office lying? Never.
Phil Steele, so far 14 hasn't. Finch runs half-ass routes. Versus Kansas City interception was his fault. And versus the Bengals, he shows what he is. Bullshit by 14. John,
that's why he needs to step up this week and prove us wrong, George Pickens. Prove us wrong, GP.
Prove us wrong, GP.
Prove us wrong.
And he has the potential to do it. That's the frustrating thing with players.
I watched some highlights of just some of the catches he made earlier this season, and I forgot how effing good the guy is capable of being.
Mm-hmm.
He can catch anything his way. He's
with
very
those
good.
Missed passes, the way the drop passes that he missed last weekend was complete bullshit. I mean, you've seen this guy catch balls that weren't even possible for a human being to catch. Yeah, drop a pass that's right in his face. Drop another pass right in the bread basket.
That there tells me that one of two things: either there's a hidden injury somewhere, which I don't think is the issue, or two, his head just isn't in the right. His concentration, his focus,
right.
And it is, once again, it comes back to the coaches. It comes back to the motivating factor of Tomlin and Smith and the rest of the crew. They just need to settle the boy down.
Yeah,
settle him down, narrow his focus, tunnel vision. Look for the football, run a clean route.
3 hours
basics.
After this game. You have 3 hours. Focus. Get the guy to focus for 3 hours.
Well, this was like on his scouting reports. The red flag was can't get out of his own way. That's why he dropped from a first rounder to a second rounder.
John ordered new batteries for his black and gold defibrillator and got 2 for 1 mint Maylocks for the game. I am ready. He's ready.
He is ready. You got to get Terry Bongshaw ready.
Terry Bongshaw, I'm sure, will be up early with John out in Las Vegas. Corey says, at Steele, no, sir. He's a beast, but he's too easily brought down by the media. He's got some maturing to do. He's proven he's not shit. The whole team has been a mess. It's the collective. You know what? You're both right. It's a part of the whole thing, but it's also George has to get his shit together as well. Okay, Corey's going to Phil's coming back, and Corey says, no, Corey, I don't want that in the Men of Steel locker room. Corey says, I agree with that, but let's be honest. If we were more aggressive before the trade deadline, we would have gotten better than Mike Williams and had a contingency plan for a Pickens injury. What else we got here, guys?
Have to play. Wait, so we have to play them where we're done. That was the last message, I think. Oh no, we still. Oh man, we're still going. I'm behind too.
Let's see. Folks believe bookies really influence the line, but it is the public beating in confidence or lack thereof that drives the spread.
Yeah.
Brother Man, what's up, man? Welcome back, Brother Man. He says, what up, everybody? Steelers hooray. What did I just walk into now? Steelers in general need to prove us wrong with all this horrible four-week
Yes.
play. Phil Steele says a 14 has 8 catches, 250 yards, and 3 touchdowns this Saturday. I'll get a 14 tattoo on my chest.
I
watch
hope
that
it
happen.
happens.
Watch it
I
happen.
want
if
that to
if he gets a
happen.
14, I want somebody to walk up to him and be like, "Why do you have Neil O'Donnell's phone or number on your?"
Oh, Finchy.
Brother Man says Pickens
Sorry, I couldn't.
was even fighting with fans instead of focusing on the game in which he missed or dropped multiple passes. You're right.
Yeah.
Kerry Matthews, welcome. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, I guess. Now, delusional people, you Tinner fans are delusional and sad, really sad. What is a Tinner fan?
What have we
What is
said
he
that
doing?
was delusional today?
Everything
we
has
have
been-
literally called out
Yeah.
all of GP's bullshit today.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I don't know what a Tinner. What's a Tinner fan?
I don't know what a Tinner fan is.
That's probably autocorrect. He probably tried to type in Steeler.
Oh, hey,
and-
nice try, Kerry. You
Yeah.
tried. Brother Phyllis still says, Brother Man,
Gold
this
star.
is a crazy
Gold star.
podcast. We really talk here. Absolutely. Guys, let's do a move on. Okay, so the number I was coming up with earlier, the Steelers played the Ravens 4 times in the playoffs. 4 times. The Steelers are 3-1 against the Ravens in the playoffs. This is the first game of all the playoff games against the Ravens that are in Baltimore. So we have their number. And again, you know, are we any different off than any other time we've really ever played the Ravens? I'd say if you go by last game and last game only, yes. But if you zoom out at all, you will see that this could very well be a classic knockdown punch, you know, just one of these kind of football games between these two AFC North powers. As always, that's what I think that we're going to get. Phil Steele, Brother Man, because it ain't going to happen. Okay, I see what. Don't make promises you can't keep. Phil the Steele. Uh-oh. Here we go. Phil, because it ain't going to happen. Phil still says back to Brother Man. Brother Man says, good, so bring it. I'm as crazy as well and ready to do the damn thing. You know what is this? Wait, is Brother Man, is Brian back? What's going on? I haven't seen Phil still go at it like this for a while. But guys, we have to get into guys. Give me.
We're getting them pumped up today, guys.
Oh, guys, it's time to get pumped up, man. We got the big game tomorrow. If you're not pumped up for this, right? Guys, keys to victory. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Go to Finch next. Guys, what are the keys to victory for this Pittsburgh Steelers team this Saturday?
When Baltimore has the ball, obviously don't let Derrick Henry take over. We have to stop the run. Cam Hayward has to play a ton of snaps. When he is in there, we're giving up like 3 yards a carry. When he's not in there, that jumps up to 5 to 6 yards a carry. Cam needs to carry the load. Cam Hayward's the greatest player of all time. Exactly. From my lips to your ears, the voice of an angel. Contain Lamar Jackson. Contain. Last game, we blitzed him at a higher rate than we normally did. And, he completed a high rate of passes, had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So the 4 guys up front have to do their job. Cam, Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton, TJ Watt. When we go nickel, throw in Alex Highsmith. Contain, staying disciplined in your rush lanes. And then defense, don't let anyone beat you over the top. Play like we always do. Let them, they're going to complete passes in the middle of the field. That's been a Steeler philosophy since, I started watching football in the 80s. They've always given up the middle of the field. Don't let them give you anything over the top, and then get off the field on 3rd down. Make those 3rd down stops. Offense. Pass the ball occasionally on 1st down. That would be awesome. Exploit the middle of the field, and ball security and ball control. Don't let Baltimore get the ball, and when you have the ball, grind that clock down. But you can do that effectively by short passing, intermediate passing. Those are my keys.
Finch, if Mike left anything, do you want to give us the keys? Your keys
I'm
to
sorry.
this football game.
Yeah, he literally covered the
I know.
entire
I'm sorry,
team.
I'm pumped up and
He
fired.
just named 52 of the 53 players. No, what I was going to say is, who needs to show up and show us that he's worth his salt is Arthur Smith. He needs to change up the play calling. As you guys alluded to earlier, it's every single time, every single drive. It's like run, pass, run. Mix it up. Just mix it up.
You just don't see that in the NFL. You have to throw the ball.
You have to mix it up.
Come
You
on.
can't just keep running the same goddamn play and think
This guy
that
was
it's
a
going
head
to work
coach
every
for
single
3
time.
years, you know.
Yeah, and we lauded Arthur Smith coming into the season. It was such a pickup over Matt Canada, right? Well, he has been doing Matt Canada shit the last few weeks, and he needs to just mix it up. I'm not saying he needs to go out there and create a bunch of brand new plays. He doesn't need to be making magical notes in his playbook. He just needs to go out there and just do something a little bit different. Just a little bit different. Catch them off guard. Catch them on their heels. In that first drive or second drive of the game, if we can do something that the Ravens haven't seen and we can score 1 or 2 touchdowns to open up the game, the rest of the playbook just opens up for you. It just gives you that option, right? You can't pass without the run. You can't run without the pass. You can't do one without the other. He needs to mix it up, and he needs to prove why we put him in that position in Pittsburgh.
Let me jump on the board, and we're going to get to the overs and unders. I want to start right here where John says to the one commenter, he says, Cherry Matthews, go get a sandwich from your mother. Boom. That was Cherry Matthews. I think it was Carrie Matthews. I thought it was a woman, to be honest with you, but John handled them. He said, Cherry Matthews can go get a sandwich from his mother. You the man, John. Brother Man says the thin lining is that the Steelers have Ravens' number and ready to bust there. Also, Brother Man says Highsmith and Elliott are back, so Ravens look out. Corey Beaver says at this point, I'm an idiot for buying a Rush jersey after the last Browns game. Phil still says keys to victory. Have Peaches distract the Ratbird sideline. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about right there. I saw that one. I was like, that might actually be the number one play. That maybe that's why Derpy's not here. He's working out with Steelers Advance to get her to the stadium, sight unseen.
Also, John says get a lead and watch Lamar unravel. Keys to victory by Phil of Steel. Complimentary football by the offense. Period. Brother Man, not an idiot. Corey and Russ will still have a chance to show us why he still got it and is not washed. Take this damn stink off us and bring it. Show and prove, baby. Phil Steele, I said it. Smith show some balls. Smith definitely got to bring. He's definitely got to bring the balls. No two ways about it.
There's nothing to lose and everything to gain right now.
Exactly.
Nobody's expecting the Steelers to win this game except for us.
And if he doesn't bring it, people are going to tell you suck, and they're not going to want you here, and then you're going to go home. Why not? You go outside of your box, come up with something amazing, and let's get out there and do it. That's
Arthur Smith needs to be coaching for his job right now. He needs to understand that Matt Canadas of the world are not here anymore because of the kind of BS that Smith has been doing the last 4 weeks.
Execute and finish drives. Please, can somebody block and tackle? Fundamentals, I agree, and mix it up or go outside the box. I agree 100%. Brian Pasquale, good morning. Good afternoon to you as well. TJ Watt, 2 tackles, two total tackles over the last 3 games. And no, Ryan, I never went anywhere. I just don't comment. All right. Also on the board, we do have, where'd you go? Offense is in shambles, but defense finally stepping up. A complimentary football is what we need. Offense, get it together. That's Brother Man. And finally, Yinzer Joe says, I think Mike Williams is our secret weapon to opening up more pass options. I would like to see that. I got to be honest with you, Yinzer Joe. That's what they brought him for, right?
Now that Scotty Miller is off the depth chart, Mike Williams has a chance to step up and play. And the funny thing is, you see him out there the first handful of drives. You see Mike Williams out there a lot. They just don't target him.
Right.
And then he gets that random target in the third quarter out of nowhere, and then you don't see him again the rest of the game.
Playing it safe is not working. Go all out, guys. Let's jump over to the overs and unders. Finch, Mike, give a short explanation, but let's do some overs and unders here. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Does George Pickens catch 5.5 passes tomorrow night against the Baltimore Ravens? Mike, George Pickens 5.5 passes, over or under?
I'm taking the over. He's having a breakout game.
All right, Finch, same question to you.
Same. Give me the over. I think this is his time.
Mike, Pat Fryermuth, does this Nittany Lion have a good weekend and score a half a touchdown? 1/2 a touchdown for Pat Fryermuth, over or under?
You know what? Give me the over. Penn State, we need something.
All right. Finch, over to you. Same thing with you? All right.
Pat Fryermuth has been one of the most consistent players on our offense all year, and there's no reason to believe why he won't continue that.
All right. Next one, guys. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, will they rush for a combined 100 yards, over or under?
Ooh.
Harris and Warren, a combined 100. Mike, over or under?
Barely. I'm going to take the over.
Finch?
I'm taking the under, but only because I think we are going to spread the ball out a little bit more than rush the ball this week. I think we're going to take advantage of the Ravens' secondary.
Hope you're right. Guys, Mike Williams, 2.5 catches. Mike.
Under.
Finch? Mike
Under.
Williams.
Unfortunately, under.
What a shame. What a shame.
What a shame. But hey, man, if he only makes one catch and it's a touchdown to win the game, we don't give a shit, right?
And think about him too, guys. He don't mess up. He doesn't drop balls. He's not a guy that fumbles that we see. At least I don't understand why more balls aren't thrown in this direction.
Very disciplined player.
So far, so good. I agree. Guys, next one. Justin Fields, 1/2 a pass attempt. Justin Fields, 1/2 of a pass attempt. Over or under?
I'm taking the over on this one.
Because every time they brought him in, he takes the ball and he runs. I don't remember the last time I seen him throw. Justin Wilson, Mike saying over 1/2 a pass attempt. Justin Fields, Mike, or Finch to you, same question. Justin Fields, 1/2 a pass attempt. Over or under?
I think that's an over. I think it's going to play into what we were talking about, Arthur Smith mixing up the playbook a little bit. It wouldn't shock me if we saw Justin Fields in for a play or two early in the game and he gets a completion. No matter how short that completion is, it's going to keep the defense on their toes.
All right. Chris Boswell, providing he plays. He was sick this week, but as far as I know, he's going to be playing. That's why I haven't even brought it up. But he has been ill this week, guys. Chris Boswell, 2.5 field goals made tomorrow night. 2.5 field goals. Mike, over or under Chris Boswell?
Taking the under.
Finch?
Under.
Under as well. All right. And guys, offensively, do we turn the ball over more than 1.5 times or less? 1.5 is the number on the over-under. Offensive committed turnovers, Mike, over or under 1.5?
Under.
Finch?
I'm taking the over, and the reasoning being that we're going to take risks.
Okay. Over to the defensive side of the ball, guys. Does the defense cause 1.5 fumbles? Over or under, Mike?
I'm going to take the over.
Finch, defense, do they cause over or under 1.5 turnovers?
Over. In fact, I think TJ Watt himself will have more than 1.5 turnovers caused.
Oh, interesting. Alex Highsmith, a half sack, Mike.
Boom!
Alex Highsmith, boom! Does Alex Highsmith get a sack tomorrow or no?
I'm taking the over.
Finch, half sack, Alex Highsmith.
You know what? He's a man on a mission right now. He has something to prove. Give me the over.
All right. Let's see. Nick Herbig, a half sack. He's one of these guys that always comes into play in these Ravens kind of ugly turnover, those kind of games. Nick Herbig, a half sack, Mike.
Push.
Okay. And Finch, a half sack by Nick Herbig.
You know what? I think he'll get one. Give me the over.
He's due as well. He hasn't had one for a couple weeks.
He's due, and he's very capable, so it can happen.
Absolutely. Here we go. A half an interception by our starting secondary, meaning Minka, Elliott, Porter, Jackson. 1/2 interception by our starting secondary. Over or under, Mike?
I'm going to take the over, considering Lamar Jackson has 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his playoff appearances.
All right, Finch, same question to you. A half.
Also the over. I mean, we got to think about this for a second. What does Lamar Jackson usually do against the Steelers?
All right. Either puts it on the ground or puts it in somebody's hands. And
his last game was the exception, not the rule.
That's right. A couple more, guys. A half of a devastating injury. Do we lose a player of great value tomorrow? It may or may not matter beyond this weekend, but still the question we go with every week is there going to be a half a devastating injury, Mike, player that we certainly can't afford to lose?
I hate to say it, but I am going to take the over, and it's going to be McCormick. He's going to try and get it out, but I think as the game wears on, he's going to come out. It's going to affect our line play.
All right, Finch, same question over to you. Devastating injury, 1/2, more or less, one or over or more, under or over. I'm sorry.
I'm taking the under only because I need to disagree with Mike on something.
Okay.
Well, when you're this smart and good looking, Finch, I'm used to people agreeing with me.
Oh yeah,
You don't have to tell me. I know what that's like.
Exactly.
there you go,
Baldies
Finch.
unite.
And then finally the last one. It's kind of two. George Pickens, one half of a pass interference called in his favor. Going down the sidelines, getting the ball, getting his arms yanked. You see this happen a lot. One half a pass interference called in George Pickens' favor. Over or under, Mike?
Under.
And what a shame that is. Finch, over to you. Over or under on that play? Pass
Give me
interference.
the over. Give me the over. I could see Pickens going for reaching for some outrageous ball that he shouldn't catch, and just when he's about to catch it, they tug the jersey or something. You see it all the time versus those guys who are hands guys who jump up for a lot of balls. You do see them draw a lot of penalties. I think we're in good shape with that one. Yes.
Just to answer a question real quick, brother man, it is going to be Spencer Anderson. He is getting the reps this week in case McCormick cannot go. Guys, the very last one of the over and unders is this. Pickens, one half of a bonehead play. A play that we're going to be pulling our hair out, pretty much talking about the same thing that we've been talking about earlier in this show. Is there going to be a bonehead play by Pickens tomorrow, or is he going to be under wraps? Mike, bonehead play by Pickens, one half. Fighting with fans, punching somebody. You know what we're talking about.
I want to go with over. But, I already said he's going to have a good game, but he is going to have a boneheaded play.
Okay. And Finch, finally, last one. Does he have a boneheaded play tomorrow? We're ready to get his ass out of Pittsburgh Sunday morning. Is that going to happen or no?
I'm going with the under. All the stuff I preached earlier about Tomlin needing to put his boot into GP's butt, I am fully confident that Tomlin has had those discussions this week with GP, and I think I really truly think it's going to get through his thick skull this week. The superstar that we know he can be is going to show up.
I hope so. I
sure hope. We need him to not screw up.
Just play smart, dude.
We could have, like I said, we got to play a pretty good game tomorrow. We got to play a pretty good game to even put ourselves in a chance to win this one again. This is a good Baltimore Ravens team. It's not. I don't fear them like I like when you think of Buffalo or Kansas City or. I just don't. I think Baltimore's a team that we've proven year after year after year we could totally beat. So we just have to get it's up here, guys. We got to get ready. Got to go out and execute. And as I said, impose your will and avoid them imposing their will on you. We know how to beat this team. This is nothing out of our league, guys. I think we win this game tomorrow. That's my prediction. We will do some predictions as we get ready to go off the show today. But Mike, let me touch on this Penguins real quick, and then we'll get into the website. Mike, the Penguins, they get a win last night. They score a bunch of goals in the first period. The Penguins beat the Oilers 5-3. Crosby passes Joe Sakic all time. He is now the ninth all-time NHL points leader in the league. Sidney Crosby passed Joe Sakic last night as the Pens beat the Oilers 5-3. Back in action tomorrow. The Senators they travel to Pittsburgh to play us at 4:00 p.m. Get down and get your Yammer Yager bobblehead. That's right, 2 years in a row, the Yammer Yager bobblehead. If they don't get stolen again, you could go down 4:00 to the PPG Arena and get yours tomorrow. Also, Mike, the Pitt basketball team, they also host Louisville tomorrow at noon. So the downtown's going to be downtown over into Oakland. There's going to be a lot of things going on, but the big one tomorrow night, Mike, Steelers at Baltimore, 8:00. Why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. Remember, if you're new here, go check it out. We have links to all of our social media, more links than what's here on YouTube, links to the Discord, our merch store in there, and there used to be a blog on there. It may or may not be coming back. But yeah, check it out at the2dumyinzers.com. It's coming back. It's just, I don't
forget to smash that like button. That's the one that looks like this, guys. Hit it. Turn it blue.
Depending. I'm just going
on what
top
platform.
on a couple of these guys from what we have here. Corey says Boswell and Hayward have both been out all week with illness. As far as I know, Corey, I mean they're not ruled out. They are ruled on the injury list. They are ruled as they did miss practice. They haven't participated. But as of this time, I mean, they are not ruled out. So, Mike,
yeah, Cam was a full participant at Thursday's practice. Boz, it still hasn't practiced, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be out there ready to go.
Mike, I think your friend, we all three, they said my call, game of field goals. You know what? If it's all field goals for Pittsburgh, we're in big trouble. But if we could hold them, to threes every now and then, I think that's what you got to do. We can't go out and kick field goals as they continue to score touchdowns. That's a recipe for disaster. We have to find the end zone. If we don't, at least hold them out of the end zone, right?
Yeah, we got to. If it comes down to between Tucker and Boz, Tucker's flipped his yips around. He's now going back to be very consistent, and it's going to be a coin flip at that point between the two kickers. And I'd be okay with it if it comes down to that two defenses playing really well, two kickers playing really well. Let those guys figure it out. Old school
that plays to our advantage.
Maybe I'll take it.
Yeah.
I think we're better at blocking kicks than they are, so I'd put that in our favor. If it comes down to like a 15-12 game and we win 15-12, I'll be happy.
Oh, hell yeah.
It'd be the ugliest football game ever, but it would be so beautiful.
But as somebody said on the board earlier, you just got to throw all the numbers out the window when it's these two teams playing, and that's usually the way that it goes. And hopefully that's the game we need to happen. We need that particular kind of game if we're going to win this football game. Also, you know what, brother, man, that's the thing. Who is our backup? We bring in somebody. That's why I think Boswell's playing, unless they have somebody up there kicking throughout the week that we don't know about. That's as far as we know.
I never know where to find the practice squad, so
yeah,
I don't know if we have a kicker on the practice squad or not. Wouldn't surprise me if we do.
All right, let's get into this trivia question, guys. Last Ravens question of the year, I promise you, this football season anyway. This is going to be in our How Well Do You Know the Enemy segment of the show. This is the trivia question of the day. It's a Baltimore Ravens trivia question, but it has some Pittsburgh Steelers in it as well. So here we go, guys. The first pass ever by the Ravens against the Steelers, the first pass thrown ever, was a Vinny Testaverde pick six by which Steeler player? Ooh. The very first Ravens pass play against the Steelers ever, which would have been back in '96, was a Vinny Testaverde pick six thrown. Who was the Steeler that took it to the house? Take a minute to think it over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day throughout the week, right here on YouTube. All right. Finch, Mike, everybody on the board, everybody at home. Question of the day. The first pass ever by the Ravens against the Steelers was a Vinny Testaverde pick six by this Steeler. Who was the Steeler that took it to the house? All right. Finch, I'm going to start with you. Who do you think the Steeler was that took it to the house on the very first Ravens pass in a Ravens-Steeler game back in 1996 by Vinny Testaverde?
I'm going to say Steelers legend Carnell Lake.
Carnell Lake, good answer. Is this your final answer?
Yes.
All right. Fitch is locked in on Carnell Lake. Mike, I'm going to come to you. Who was the Steeler that took the very first Ravens pass to the house on a pick six thrown by Vinny Testaverde in the very first pass of the very first game that the Ravens ever played the Steelers?
Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. I'm locking Mike into place on a Rod Woodson. Pierce Lake on the board. All right, guys. Question of the day. Last Raven question of the year. The first pass ever by a Ravens quarterback in the Ravens-Steelers series back in 1996 was a Vinny Testaverde pick six to this Steeler.
Vesta Turdy.
Finch said Lake. Mike said Woodson. A couple different answers on the board. Guys, the answer to this question, and it looked good. I seen a highlight last night. Slick as anything. Snatched it right down the sideline by no one other than Rod Woodson.
Nice.
It was a beauty. If you get a chance, pull that highlight up later. It is beautiful. Vinny just looks so shocked. Rod just right down, touchdown, beauty. It was a beauty. That was the very first pass ever thrown by the Ravens in this particular series.
Number 26 for 6, baby.
26 for 6.
Like the first name that popped in my head was the Shea Townsend. I'm like, wait a sec,
That's too early,
that's
yeah.
too far into the future.
To be honest with you, Mike, Rod Woodson was the first person I thought of too. But I was trying to think, when did we get rid of Woodson? Didn't we get rid of him after the Super Bowl year? But he might have played another season with us.
He played another season too. Then he
because it was the year after that we lost the Super Bowl that the Ravens became a team. So
yeah.
Okay, good, great. I got to look it up.
Check it out. It's a beauty.
Yeah, I'm sure
you know what?
Wonderful.
It came down on my stream at one point. I thought, you know what? This has to be down my feed. I was like, this
Rod
has
Woodson
to be.
was a man amongst boys too. That guy.
He was a beast.
He was so good with us and for the Ravens, unfortunately.
And it was just so
mad
smooth.
respect.
He just ran right through the ball, caught it. Beautiful. Check it out, everybody. Also, guys, don't forget we do have this weekend the 4:30 game, the Chargers at the Texans. We played 8 o'clock tomorrow against the Ravens. Sunday, you got Denver at Buffalo at 1 o'clock, Green Bay at Philly at 4:30, then Washington at Tampa Bay at 8 o'clock, and then Monday Night Football playoffs. I love this. This is the Minnesota Vikings at the Rams, which got moved to Arizona. So those games, it's going to be a lot of football this week, starting with tonight. Excuse me, guys. Also, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they take on the Texas Longhorns at 7:30 to see who goes to the national championship on Monday, January 20th, to play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So we got meaningful football all through the week. We got our weekend. We have all this kind of playoff football starting last night with the Penn State Notre Dame. Tonight, Ohio State Texas. All these playoff games all the way to Monday night. I just love it. So much playoff football. It's fantastic. So we do want to make sure we keep up on all that, fellas. Also, we do have the Penguins back in action. If you want to get down to the arena, go down and get your Yarmer Yager bobblehead. That is tomorrow. That game is at 4, an early game. And also Pitt is hosting Louisville at noon over in Oakland. So if you're going down to Pittsburgh tomorrow, there's a lot of things going on. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of parties and bars and everything else open for the game. So if you do go down, have fun, be careful. Also, fellas, tonight, do not forget to check 9:30 tonight right here on our YouTube page, the 2DY Media, 2 Dum Yinzer YouTube page. Come check it out because there's a brand new show tonight hosted by Finch right below me and Tim. Finch and Tim will be on tonight at 9:30 to host a brand new show called Two Cranky Jags. 9:30 tonight, they'll be talking a little bit about everything. There's a variety of different topics, current events, things like this. Excuse me, they'll certainly be covering tonight. Go check them out, support them. It's Finch right here from the show. Tim, welcome him as well. Get over there, make sure we support them. I think it's going to be really great, and I can't wait to check it out and see what them guys are up to tonight at 9.
Be a good time.
Cranky Jags tonight at 9:30 right here. Guys, anything if we start getting ready to wrap things up, Mike?
Yeah, we're talking. There's a lot of talk about Tomlin needs to step up, Lamar Jackson needs to step up. Like they're not the only ones, man. Like I said, John Harbaugh, he needs to step up too. Like 3-6. Cam Hayward needs to step up. 8 career playoff games, he has 9 tackles, 1 sack. TJ Watt has 3 playoff games, 8 tackles, 1 sack, but he does a fumble recovery for a touchdown. A lot of guys. Kind of legacy is riding on this game. So it's going to be interesting to see who steps up in this game. And for me as a sports fan, I want to see everyone step up. Hopefully our guys step up just a little bit more, but a lot of legacy is kind of riding on this game.
Mike, what's your prediction? I don't care if it has anything to do with your pick from yesterday. What's your prediction for the game tomorrow? Just what you're thinking right now.
I'm thinking right now, I'm kind of still leaning towards Baltimore by a field goal, but I think it's going to be a hard-fought, close game.
Okay. Finch?
I hope I'm wrong.
All right. Finch, anything before we do start your final thoughts, what's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
Oh, man, it hurts to say. I know the Steelers can do it. I want the Steelers to do it. I think the Steelers are going to beat the spread. But I think Baltimore is going to win the game, unfortunately. I think they're going to win maybe 24-18, something of that sort. A hard-fought, close game as they usually are. Hope I'm wrong, but
I hope you're wrong too. I'm predicting the Steelers to win this game. I think they're going to win it within that same one score that they always do.
Yep.
I got the Steelers this one, guys. Finch, anything before we do start getting ready to wrap up?
A lot of people in the comments keep asking us who do we got tonight with Ohio State and Texas. So real quick to address that, I think Ohio State's going to win that game, and I think they're going to win the national championship.
I got Texas. That was my pick from the beginning, and I had them going all the way. Texas is my pick tonight.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
I got Ohio State. I think their receiving core and their running backs are just all of them
stellar.
Are going to be they have like 3 receivers that are going to go into the draft. They have 2 running backs that are going to go into the draft. Their line's good. I think they're going to back their way into a national championship.
I hate them so much, dude.
Texas is a damn good team, but they're wildly inconsistent from drive to drive. Whereas I think Ohio State has been more consistent in this playoff.
All right, there you go. Mike got Ohio State. I got Texas. And Finch, you got Ohio State?
I do, unfortunately, yes.
Right. Phil is still right. That's what I'm thinking. Phil still says, "What are you guys playing ping pong?" Steelers win. Darn it, I agree. Steelers win this one. I'm not going to change it. I think we win this football game. I think next week it will be the problem in the playoffs for us.
For me right now, I'm at 50-50. It's a coin flip.
All right. Finch's show tonight. Do check it out. Two Cranky Jags, 9:30 right here, Eastern Standard Time. Do check him out. He's going to be covering different stories, different things to talk about, Finch. And I want to know if you heard this one.
No politics, by the way. No politics on this show. Just letting you know, in case anybody thought maybe they don't want to tune in because there's a chance of some talk about the president or something. None of that. I was going
to say, well, where am I going to announce my candidacy?
So here we go, Finch. Did you hear this story in Ohio? 75-year-old woman. This was news this morning. I just saw before we came on the air. 75-year-old woman in Ohio was mauled to death by her neighbor's pigs. Finch, maybe that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was the headline. 75-year-old woman in Ohio was mauled to death by her neighbor's pigs. Maybe these kind of stories, maybe interesting things like this, odd stories, just all different kind of stuff. Do check it out tonight, 9:30. The Two Cranky Jags, that is Finch and Tim. They'll be on tonight right here. So do check them out. Finch, did you hear that story at all with this woman that got ate by the pigs?
I didn't. I did not see that. My news intake the last couple days has been this giant fire out west. I've been kind of obsessing over what's going on with that. So I've kind of missed a couple of stories. So please do tell.
Yeah, no, that will be that'll be a good one. Like I said, I'm anxious. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. But that was something that made me think of you when I saw the headline. I thought, geez, 75-year-old woman in Ohio mauled to death by her neighbor's pigs.
Of course that happened in Ohio.
Imagine being 75 years old, going through your whole entire life. You sat through all those endless years in school. You worked all those endless years in your job. And in the way that it ends is you get mauled to death by a pig, by your neighbor's pig. So there you go. It went in Ohio.
That's my state for you.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We really do. We really, really honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. We want to thank everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting, and everybody at home as well. Guys, that's it for me. I'm ready for the Steeler game. Again, it starts tonight with Ohio State in the college football games. Playoffs, Texas, that whole thing. It's going to be fun, meaningful football playoffs through the whole weekend, all the way up through the end of Monday night. I can't wait. But the big one, the only one that matters, guys, is tomorrow, 8 o'clock. The Steelers do travel to M&T's Bank Stadium in Baltimore for the very first time to face them in the playoffs. I think we win this one, guys. Get your jerseys, get your terrible towels waving, even play the Steeler polka. You know what? I'm sure there's going to be tailgates down there tomorrow, brother man. It's probably going to be a wild scene in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of things going on tomorrow. But guys, anything before we do roll?
I got nothing. Here we go, Steelers. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Hope to see you all back Monday.
I hope it's Victory Monday, guys. It'll be great times. Great times. What about you, Finch?
I apologize to the board today for being so loud and I had a lot to say. I haven't been able to talk properly for about 5 days, and I haven't been on the show for a week, so I had quite the build-up. But it's all out there. The world now knows how I feel about this current game and the situation. Let's just hope that my words heed some sort of resonance and that we win the game. Just go out there and win the damn thing.
The only thing that's going to work, Phil still says, Fincher, wave your towel. He's saying, grab your towel, wave it, and wave it till the very end until we go off the air. That's what's going to bring us the win. There you go, guys. Finch is waving the good luck into our Steelers right now, and this is going to bring us a victory tomorrow. Guys, get the jerseys out, get your terrible towels, get the alcohol, get the heartburn medicine, all that stuff. Get ready. Steelers tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Enjoy the game. Cheer this team to victory. We'll be back first thing Monday to talk about this game and all the other things. Hopefully it'll be Victory Monday, and we'll be getting ready for round 2. For Finch down there waving his terrible towel. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio. Myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy all this football. We'll see you back on Monday for Victory.